presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
And Kipnis socks one deep down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a 3-run homer for Jason Kipnis. He loves hitting Fenway. That big blast in Corey Kluber's 7 solid innings made it 5 straight wins for the Tribe. Now Trevor Bauer will try to continue the streak at Fenway. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Cloudy day at Fenway Park in Boston as the Indians take on the Red Sox. You got to have your scorecard, fill out your lineups. We've got ours ready to go as the Indians take on the Red Sox, looking to run their win streak now to 6 in a row. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. You know Jason Kipnis' name is in that lineup card for Terry Francona. He loves hitting here at Fenway Park. Is there something particular about this park that gives him good vibes?
Well, I think when he first came to Fenway Park, he homered in 3 consecutive games, so that makes you feel good as a ball player no matter where, especially in your rookie season. And he stepped up last night, got a fastball down into his wheelhouse and drove it out of the ballpark. That gave the Indians a lead. They added one more after that. When you look at his career numbers here, Jason Fenway, 19 games, 19 ribbies, and he just has good feelings, and you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he hits in this ballpark the rest of his career.
Well, the Indians trying to stay on a roll this afternoon here against the Red Sox. When we come back, we've got today's first pitch. Plus, we'll check out with Andre Knott as he lets us know how Mike Napoli's feeling after his return to Fenway did not go so well last night. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Baseball here at Fenway, and for the Indians today, it will be Trevor Bauer on the hill against Joe Kelly, who returns from the disabled list. Let's go down to Andre Nadu as more Mike Napoli's return to Fenway.
Well, for Mike Napoli, it was an 0 for 5 night at the plate, but it was a special night to be back here at Fenway Park after winning a World Series here. Here's today's Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
You know, it's a little weird coming to the visiting, side, but, I'm going to have fun with it. It's a special place in my heart, and I'm a competitor. I'm going to come out here and try to do everything I can to try to beat them. So it's going to be fun.
The starting lineups for the Indians today under Terry Francona, presented by Progressive. Rajai Davis going to lead it off, then it's Jason Kipnis, followed by Francisco Lindor, who had 2 hits and walked twice last night. Mike Napoli, Carlos Santana, and Marlon Byrd gets the start in left field batting 6th. Juan Uribe, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Chris Jimenez batting ninth.
Joe Kelly is our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Red Sox today. He's been on the disabled list for about a month. So he is coming back, making his 4th start. He came out just after 2/3 of an inning and about 19 pitches in his last start against Tampa Bay.
Rajai Davis swings at the first pitch and a routine roller to short, 1 away. Defensively for Boston, how do they look today, Rick?
Well, pretty much the same as yesterday. Swihart in left field, Bradley in center, Betts is over in right. Shaw at third, Bogarts at short, Pedroia at second, Ramirez at first, except Hannigan is behind the plate.
Jim Joyce, the crew chief, has the plate. Hudson, Hoy, and Fairchild on the bases. Here's Jason Kipnis, who homered last night with a 3-run shot. It was the biggest at bat of the game. Just asked John Farrell after the game. He said that was it.
Yep.
That one swing did us in.
Well, and it's hard to say one swing can do that to a team that was averaging about 6 or 7 runs a ball game over the last 10 games or so.
Tells you how good Corey Kluber was last night.
Exactly. No question. As a matter of fact, it was only the 2nd time that anybody has held Boston to 2 runs or fewer this year in their home ballpark.
One ball, 1 strike. Bounced in the dirt.
Yeah, Kelly had a shoulder impingement when he came out of the ball game. He was pitching with some soreness. He was shut down the last 3 weeks of the season last year. Comes to spring training and everything was fine until that 3rd start against Tampa. Threw 23 pitches and just 10 of them were strikes. Kelly pretty much a fastball pitcher. We'll see how his secondary pitches are. A little 2-seamer and that slider. But he is 1-0 in his 2 starts against the Indians in his career. Pitching 11 innings, 12 hits, allowed just 2 runs, 1 of them earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 7.
Had him off balance, and Kipnis rolls it to Pedroia, 2 down. Here's our great clip of the game from last night, the home run we just talked about from Jason Kipnis. Now here's Francisco Lindor with 2 down and the bases empty. And he takes a strike. One ball, 1 strike. Frankie last night, couple of hits, couple of walks, and 1 incredible slide at home plate. Rajai Davis said after the ball game, when he was asked about the slide of Lindor, he said, "Oh, you're talking about the swim move?"
Well, that gave them their 4th run in that inning, so it was a terrific slide.
I liked what Terry Francona said. He goes, you know, the game doesn't speed up for him like it does for the rest of us. And Lindor described his slide into home plate, and I'm thinking, he's going 100 miles an hour, well, 20 to be exact. Flying down there, he slid, but he had the presence of mind to see it all develop. He saw where the catcher was and knew he could slide in there head first and not get hurt.
Well, that's the key to playing this game. You see things happen before they happen, and you're ready for it. Anything at any time. That's something you can't really teach.
No, those are the instincts that we all talk about.
That's what you love to see in a baseball player's instincts.
Big bouncer to second base. And Joe Kelly's return to the rotation starts with a 1-2-3 first inning. The Red Sox coming to bat when we come back. Manager John Farrell today looks like this. Mookie Betts at the top, followed by Dustin Pedroia and Xander Bogaerts, all three right-handed bats. Then Big Papi, David Ortiz, followed by Hanley Ramirez and another left-handed slugger, Travis Shaw. Jackie Bradley Jr. riding a 25-game hitting streak. Will hit seventh. Ryan Handing in eighth, and a switch hitter, Blake Swihart, batting ninth.
And 25-year-old Trevor Bauer is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher today. He lost his last start against Minnesota. His first loss of this year. Allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out a season-high 8 batters in 6 2/3 innings.
Blown away, ball 1 to Mookie Betts.
And retired 15 of his next 16 hitters after he gave up a couple of runs in the second inning. That's your favorite call from an umpire, isn't it? Behind home plate, we could hear it all the way up here. We're up about 5 stories.
Jim Joyce, he lets you know. No question about it. When it's a strike, you'll hear it. Checked it. It was a little bit inside.
That's how you're going to have to pitch this Boston lineup. Kluber did it last night. He was not afraid to go in there. Bauer's going to have to do that again today.
And now the count evens up at 2-2. Betts 7 homers, 9 doubles, and 3 triples on the year. Routine roller to third base, and Juan Uribe takes care of that one down.
And our Jeep defense for the Indians today looks like this. Bird in left field, Davis in center, Chisenhall in right. Uribe at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Santana at first, with Jimenez again behind the plate with Trevor Bauer. They seem to work very well together, or at least they have to this point.
Yeah, you don't mess with success, right?
Absolutely. He's done a nice job. For whatever reason, they seem to click, those two.
Dustin Pedroia 1 for 3 last night, taking all the way, looks at a strike.
You know, and when we talked to Jimenez in Houston after that nice outing, or Andre did, I should say, you know, he said, you know, you keep it simple. It's a pretty
There's a long drive down the right field line, slicing into the corner. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch up against the wall for out number 2, and that was nearly a home run.
That would have been close. I mean, if the key was Lonnie getting over there in time to make the play. And, you know, it's a good thing today that the clouds are out, because this is one of the toughest sun fields in right field in the league. But it was about a step away from, it wouldn't have been out, but it would have been hit, it would have been down on the ground, and that's a tough little corner down there. But it's out number 2.
Would you say this is one of the trickier right fields in baseball?
Yeah, it's a tricky everything. You got right center field, you got some angles out in center, the wall and left to deal with. It's fun, but it can be tricky. Yes, especially if the game's on the line and you get something down in that corner.
Yeah, we've seen balls go down in that corner and guys chasing a ball like a dog chases its tail.
It's like a pinball machine, you know, as it's rounding up top. Boy, it can create havoc.
Xander Bogaerts, 1 for 4 last night with a double.
Boy, one of the another great young shortstop here for the Boston Red Sox, and they haven't had a guy of this talent, if ever, playing this position.
Yeah, there was a story in the paper today drawing comparisons and saying, could he potentially be better than Nomar Garciaparra, who's widely regarded as the best shortstop the Red Sox have ever had?
I say yes, he can be.
Close, but a little bit off the plate.
Garciaparra was more of an offensive shortstop, you know, like they like to have here.
And he played during that era when numbers were just off the charts.
True.
The 3-2. And a ground ball to second base.
Good
Jason
inning.
Kipnis will throw him out. Each side goes 3 up, 3 down. No score after 1. No score. Mike Napoli will lead it off, and a nice hand from the crowd here as Napoli steps in. He went 0 for 5 last night. I think it kind of comes with the territory as you become a veteran in Major League Baseball. You know that after that 6-year period, you become a free agent. There's a good chance you're going to move around and play for different teams, different organizations.
Sure.
But when you win a world championship and then you come back, it definitely has to be some butterflies, just some anxiety maybe.
Well, yeah, I would think it intensifies that process coming back when you win.
The 0-2.
But you know, the bottom line is you reacquaint yourself with some of your friends that were on the baseball team, which not everybody is, but you know, your close friends. But once the game starts, you don't care. You're trying to kick their butts.
Now the 1-2. Broken
New
bat
bat
off to the right.
They did a nice job putting him on the board, showing some highlights and clips and big hits that Knapp had. And watch, it gets in there and they rub the head, him and Pedroia, which was one of his closest buddies. That's a nice tribute. And Big Poppy got on first base, gave him a little hug. And Knapp's just a real low-key guy. He's not much for
fanfare. But he made it clear yesterday. I'm here to win. I want to beat these guys up and in. And that's the competitor. It would be the same if it was any of his teammates. They'd be saying the same thing.
He's going to do the same thing when he goes down to Texas.
Yeah.
You know?
I love you guys, but I'm here to beat you.
Well, Kelly started him off soft with the breaking balls, and now he's trying to put him away with fastball. See what he does here in a 2-2 pitch. It's taking a while for him to get his sign.
Got 2-2.
Went with a good fastball. He sure did. That was a perfect pitch.
Oh, we got that one up to 97 miles an hour.
He's a good fastball pitcher, man. He's primarily that fastball. You look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker right there at the knees, had plenty of plate. Right on the edge. Good pitch. That's it. That's his game right there, that fastball. If he can locate that and then mix in his off-speed pitches, he could have success.
Carlos Santana doubled in 3 trips to the plate last night, but he also drew a pair of walks. Well, offensively, the Indians have been on a very good run. They've had 12 multi-run innings in their last 5 games. Down on it.
Those are very big, you know, instead of putting the ones up. I mean, those ones help, but if you can put a crooked number up early in a game and then add on, that's what they've been able to do, and that's why they have a 5-game winning streak.
Out of play. Terry Francona even with Pat Corrales.
No kidding, already.
And, you know, we talked about Mike Napoli. It's been a number of years now, but there's still some feelings that between Boston and Terry Francona every time he comes back here. The 2-1. I mean, he's not just another former Red Sox manager. He's the guy that ended the 86-year curse.
He is, and that'll never end. That'll last forever.
And you know what, Rick, I think people in Boston and around baseball have looked at what he's done since then, and I think they said, you know what, he's kind of validated himself as one of the best managers.
I would agree with that.
For what he's been able to do in Cleveland now.
People thought he was crazy when he took the job in Cleveland. And, you know, oh, he could have had any job he wanted to. He could have went here, he could have went there. Well, he wanted the job in Cleveland. He took it. He's done a nice job here.
He's had the Indians in the playoffs. He's had them on the right side of the winning ledger.
3 straight years.
Andre, you've got more on this.
Yeah, yesterday Tito said there used to be an uneasiness about coming back here just about because of everything that happened and how everything ended and what happened when things were going good. He says, but I like the people I'm with right now. And he goes, because of the team we're with, I'm okay with coming here. I don't get caught up in the emotions the way I used to because I want to do the same thing here in Cleveland now.
Right. Yeah, he's over it, moved on.
Marlon Byrd, a swing and a miss. He was asked by one of the writers here in Boston if he's had a conversation with John Henry, Tom Werner, or Larry Lucchino since he left the Red Sox 5 years ago, and he said, nope, don't expect to, and nor do I mind. Marlon Byrd quickly in the hole, 0-2. And Joe Kelly makes quick work of him on 3 pitches. The Indians go 1-2-3. Middle of the second, no score in Boston.
Live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
David Ortiz will lead off the bottom of the second for Boston. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Ortiz 2 for 2 against Trevor Bauer with a home run.
Yeah, Bauer's first appearance this year came against the Red Sox out of the bullpen back on April 5th, and it was in the 9th inning, and Ortiz hit a homer off him to right center field. So,
like that pitch there, though, he followed up the first one with a pitch inside. Make him move his feet a little bit.
Make him conscious of that inside part of the plate, no doubt. They want another one in there. Let's go 3 straight times.
Shot up the alley in right center, and on one hop into the bullpen and up into the seats for a ground rule double.
Well, then you try to go away, and if you don't get it away, that can happen. That was a laser shot to right center, bounced into the seats, and that was right down the middle. Jimenez was going to have no opportunity to catch that one. So the first hit of the ball game is a double for Ortiz. Number 17 on the year, and you can see he just keeps climbing that active leader, 601.
Well, now Hanley Ramirez, he was 1 for 4 last night. Up and away for ball 1. Hanley Ramirez has picked up a hit in 23 of his last 25 starts. So it's not just Jackie Bradley with the 25-game hitting streak, but so many of these guys are swinging the bats well right now.
Betts is the same way. He's 26 of his last 28. So, I mean, they are something. 7 different Red Sox have recorded at least 20 ribbies this year. 7. And you know, the 4 other teams have 5 players with that.
Little tapper right back to the mound. Bauer able to look Ortiz back to the bag, 1 down.
Yeah, that's a nice out right there, keeping Ortiz at second base. He had plenty of time to turn around and check and make the play at first base.
Well, let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. For Bauer, continue to settle in. His last 3 starts, 2-1 with a 2.79 ERA, 19 strikeouts against 7 walks coming in, and continue the big innings.
Well,
8 innings of 3 or more runs scored in the last 5 games. Now Travis Shaw, 0 for 4 last night. Indians finally had his number for a change.
Well, that's a rarity.
First time he didn't have a hit against the Indians in a ball game. This is 10th career game against the Tribe. Nice change of pace there. I guess it was a little cutter.
Well, he throws that nice little cutter. He's been throwing his changeup a lot more recently. 2-seam fastball. You know, he's been the 4-seam, 2-seam changeup cutter, and that's been his mix, and he's been able to control it. And it's been fun to watch him to work.
Pop to center field. And Rajay makes the catch. Ortiz thought about going to third, but Rajay said, no, not so fast, my friend.
Well, and Ortiz's legs said, no, not so fast, big man. I mean, he's in scoring position. You're not going to tag up on a routine fly ball to center field. He thinks he is, but he's thinking he's 20 years younger.
Well, that's a good point, though, because in this ballpark, it is important to get to third when you can, because now a base hit to left field doesn't guarantee that he can score.
Right. That's a good point. A lot of times they're just going to go ahead and put Bradley on right here, which certainly makes sense to me. You've got now here's the situation we talked about last night. I mean, here's one. You got first base open. You got Hannigan, who's hitting a .185. He's right-handed. Fine, that's who you want to face. So you go ahead and put him on. But with this guy with the 25-game hitting streak, he's hitting 7th. Don't throw him a lot of strikes because he's locked in.
Remember last night we mentioned that this proposed rule change among the owners was that we would do away with the 4 pitches here and just automatically put a guy on first base. Andre got the thoughts of Terry Francona on some of that last night.
Matt, Terry did not like that idea. We talked longer today about it. And he says, you know, how many times does it happen in a game where the ball goes past the catcher?
Right.
Or you have a guy like, remember Mickey a couple years ago swung out and got a strike out of it. He doesn't like that. He says, hey, if there's four balls to be thrown, let the pitcher throw the 4 balls and let's see what happens. He doesn't want to take away from what baseball is. Let him throw the 4 pitches. So some managers don't agree with just throwing up the 4
Old
fingers.
baseball people don't either, because if you remember, I don't know, it goes back into the 70s, a World Series with Oakland and Cincinnati, and they were going to intentionally walk Johnny Bench with Raleigh Fingers on the mound, and they pretended that they had 2 strikes on him. They pretended they were going to walk him, and they ended up striking him out, coming back. I don't know how many people remember that, but hey, that's exactly right.
The other thing he says is, what if you want to steal a base? You know, and I know it's Poppy on second, but what if it was someone else you wanted to steal?
I totally agree and understand that.
Well, I don't think we've heard the last of this issue. It may have been recommended for a rule change. Doesn't mean it's a slam dunk.
Well, I think old style or old school baseball people are going to say no. Make that pitcher throw 4.
0-1 to count. Swung on and missed.
Because a lot of times now, if you think about it, managers come in, they make whoever's on the mound, if they have a guy they're going to walk, before they go to their bullpen guy. Now, if you do it that way, they'll call their bullpen guy and says, go to first. I don't have to throw a pitch.
Yeah. Well, I remember a game in Minnesota. Wasn't it Lance Parrish catching for the Indians at the end of his career? And he missed the
one went to the backstop.
Yeah, went to the backstop and proved costly. 2 on, 2 out, 0-2 pitch. Just a bit outside. Hannigan not biting. Bauer with a 1-2. Broke his bat. Trevor snares it, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 stranded for Boston, and we are scoreless after 2 at Fenway. Game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Third inning, and the bottom third of the order for the Indians. Hey, check it out, the guy from Whiplash.
Oh, that's yes.
I think he took home the Oscar.
Yes, he did. Does the insurance commercials.
J.K. Simmons. And in the great tradition of Humphrey Bogart, who said a hot dog at the ballpark is like a steak at the Ritz.
He looked like he was eating chips. Let's send some up.
Out of play, right side.
Yeah, nice stab.
Uribe pops it foul, out of play.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that J.K. is from Detroit. And he's taking in a Red Sox game.
Doing a little scouting.
Yeah, right.
1-2 offering. Way outside. Kelly throws it by him. Boy, he's had a good fastball here today. His return from the DL so far has to be very encouraging for John Farrell and company.
Yeah, it's just a matter, how's your arm going to hold up? He made 3 starts down there in the minor leagues, and his last start was on the 16th of May with Pawtucket. He struck out 10 in that ball game, went 6 1/3 shutout innings.
Lonnie Chisenhall fouls one back, and he's quickly in the hole. 0-2. Swung on and missed, got him to chase it.
Well, he swung at the last 2 pitches he swung at were balls out of the zone.
Lonnie Chisenhall goes down, and that's 4 strikeouts, 3 in a row now for Red Sox right-hander Joe Kelly. Our injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Jason Hayward out with an injury, and Josh Reddick fractured a left thumb.
Did you see him go into the wall last night? It was he's going to end up having to get an MRI. Did not look very good. Made a terrific catch.
A little bit high. Chris Jimenez homered in his first game back to the Indians. Obviously disappointing when Roberto Perez was injured, broke his thumb, tagging a runner out on home plate, but it's sort of been a nice blessing that Chris Jimenez ended up being available to come back. He's done a nice job working with Trevor Bauer. Got him throwing the ball very well right now. But Joe Kelly's throwing it really well. 9 up, 9 down for the Red Sox right-hander. No score, middle of the 3rd. Jim Rice, former left fielder, designated hitter, an 8-time All-Star, and the MVP back in 1978.
Well, what a good ball player he was.
Blake Swihart will lead off the bottom of the 3rd for Boston.
They would have had him in the '75 World Series. They would have won it.
Yeah, what happened? Was it
I think a wrist. He broke a wrist or something. But he was out for the playoffs and everything, and they made it a heck of a series to begin with Cincinnati. But If he's in there, I bet they would have won it.
Who took over for him? Do you remember? You had Yaz, Fred Lynn. Did Bernie Carbo play some outfield, or was he just a DH?
I think he might have, but I think Juan Benitez, they had, I think, in '75. I have to go back and look.
Yeah. It's not a bet you're going to replace.
No, by no means. Fred Lynn got all the hype that year. He won the MVP and a Rookie of the Year.
Unbelievable.
And it was Jim Rice's rookie year as well.
Think about that.
Those two came up, and they had Evans in right field. So I'm not sure who played in left.
Making the catch in center field is Rajay Davis. One away. Has there been a better rookie tandem than Jim Rice and
I don't
Fred
know.
Lynn?
That'd be tough to beat. I don't know.
Trevor Bauer facing Mookie Betts for the second time today. Grounded to third his first time up.
Betts, a guy that is tied for the league in hits. He has 58, tied with Altuve down there. So this guy gets on base, because you know how Altuve can put the bat on the baseball and get on.
A little bit outside. Just missed inside. It's going to be in the seats. Boy, 1975 was a pretty good year for baseball in terms of guys who were either deemed rookies or made their debut that year. That ball's hit hard, deep left field, and off the monster. Bird plays it well, throw to second, not in time, and Mookie Betts, after a good at bat, works his way into scoring position with one out, second double of the afternoon for Boston.
Well, these guys know when you hit a baseball here and it's going to left field, you hustle out of the batter's box if you want a double. But there's a pitch right there. It stayed middle of the plate, so that was not a good pitch by Trevor. And it comes off that wall. I thought Bird was going to have a chance, but that second, you know, he would have had to get it on the first hop when he played back, especially for Betts, because he can run. But a lot of times you turn around, you play it off that wall and get it on one hop. It's only going to be a single here.
Dustin Pedroia takes its low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Base hit left field. Betts coming around third. He'll have to stop there as Marlon Byrd got to it quickly enough.
I'm thinking that might have been a cutter right there, a spinner that he left over the plate that Pedroia got to. He went with a high fastball a pitch before, and I think he's talking to Jimenez about that pitch right now. He wanted to see where it was located. It wasn't located very well. And he gets the base hit, but you can see you cannot score there. But they have runners at the corners, just one out. And right now, Trevor Bauer would love to get a double play ball.
Now Xander Bogaerts.
Good pitch.
And a good place, location there, right over the outside part of the plate.
Well, the two hits in this inning, when we looked at it, they had way too much of the plate, and hitters let them know.
Trevor trying to maybe use that two-seamer to get a ground ball here. Bogaerts not chasing. First and third, one out in the third, no score. And a base hit into center field. Red Sox take the lead as Mookie Betts comes home on the Red Sox third consecutive hit in the inning.
'24th RBI for Bogaerts. Ball, it was upstairs a little bit. It was more of a middle in pitch. They wanted it in, and he goes right back up the middle. Look at Bauer. He can't believe it. He thinks he's hitting his target right there, but these hitters are saying, let's go. That's 3 consecutive singles. That's 4 hits on the afternoon.
And now he's got real trouble with David Ortiz at the plate, and he hit a ringing double up the alley in right center his first time up. And there's another liner to right, up base hit, and they're loaded up now for the Red Sox. 4 straight hits with 1 out here in the third inning.
Well, again, they're going to go inside, and Ortiz, he's aggressive. He knows that he has him on the ropes and that they want to get ahead of him. He didn't hit that ball all that well. It got in there maybe a little down on the trademark, but it still went for a base hit. Jimenez out to talk to him. He just has to remember he's 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. You minimize the damage here in this situation. Get the ground ball, get your double play. Allow the 1 run. That's not bad on 4 hits.
Yeah, don't
especially
give up
consecutive hits.
Don't give up the big inning now.
Exactly. You keep those big crooked numbers off the board. I mean, we looked at our keys. We talked about our keys. Let the Indians have a big inning. You've got to stop this team from having big innings.
Hanley Ramirez, a comebacker, his first time up. Bauer would love to get another one of those right here. Low and away for ball 1. Down low, 2-0. Bullseye.
Looked like Ramirez was taken all the way on that
Sure
one.
did.
You know, he's saying, heck, I'm going to make him get into the strike zone here.
And the 2-1 now. Loop toward right. Kipnis can't get it. Pedroia scores. Here comes Bogaerts. He scores 2. And the Red Sox rip it open with a 3-run third.
Well, right now, I was just watching Bauer. He can't believe it. Everything that he throws up there, they seem to hit it. You know, Ortiz, he felt he made a good pitch, but he thinks he got it in on Bogaerts. And that one there out of the reach of Kipnis, because there it is, another pitch inside, but they're strong enough. They muscle it over his head, and he's frustrated right now. And out comes Mickey Callaway. Look at it. See the arms go up, and he just can't believe it. That's 5 consecutive hits, and that's a 3-run inning, but you're going to have to stop it sooner or later, or you will be out of here. Bullpen up and getting loose. Looks like Otero for the Indians. So it's a 3-spot in the third here. And he was able to get the leadoff man of the inning. Fly out to center field, but has not retired a batter since. 5 straight hits, a double and 4 singles.
Well, it's the second time through the order. It's been a completely different story. As Bauer yet to retire.
You know, it's funny. He made one other start here in Boston. And he went an inning and 2/3, gave up 6 hits and 5 runs. Well, right now it's 3 runs on 6 hits, but it's 2 1/3 inning. And he's trying to stay in there. You can see how these hitters, it gets contagious. You know, they get one guy on. Boy, you've got to make quality pitches.
And the 0-1 is too high. And Shaw had a good rip, but a foul back, 1-2. And now the count evens on a high fastball at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Red Sox up 3. Bauer desperately needs to get out of this inning, or Boston can really open it up big time.
That was a good pitch. Little cutter running down and in, fouled it off though. And there's the skipper looking at the matchups to come. Doesn't get any easier. You have Bradley on deck. A ground ball double play sounds nice to me.
Problem is they've hit everything in the air in this inning.
Yeah, he's made some decent pitches. They've hit a couple balls soft, but everything has fallen.
A half swing over into the Tribe
dugout.
dugout.
Pitch. That was an emergency swing to stay alive.
to shallow right field. In comes Lonnie Chisenhall. And that's the second out of the inning.
Let's take a look at the locations of the pitches and the hits off the bats of the Red Sox. That one was not a very good pitch. It was elevated. That started the double. And then Pedroia got a high cutter. And there's a ball middle in. Right back up the middle, elevated. And you'll see he's getting a lot of the plate. And that one was not a bad pitch. He just muscled it over. And that was the frustration right there. That was the last hit that drove in a pair. But it was upstairs, you know, so it made it a little bit easier for him to take it the other way.
Jackie Bradley intentionally walked his first time up. So he takes ball one inside, sitting on a 25-game hitting streak. First time up last night, he clobbered a ball into the seats for a home run, straight away center field. He's missed again, 3-0.
You don't want to give in to him again. You've got Hannigan on deck. I know he's trying to keep it a 3-run inning, so it's, if you walk him, you got an open base. That's pretty much, I think, what he was trying to do. Wasn't going to give him anything to hit.
Well, the bases are loaded, and the ninth man to bat in the inning is Ryan Hannigan, so it's put up or shut up now for Trevor Bauer in this inning.
Sure is. He's got to make his pitch, get out of here with just 3 runs allowed. And believe me, that's not the end of the world, but anything more than this would be his last hitter, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So he can keep himself in a ball game. One big out here.
And a strike with a good fastball to get ahead.
He's had a long inning here. A 36 pitch inning to this point.
And the 1-1 to third, and Uribe will get the force to end the inning.
He wants 4 outs. Exactly. He didn't know. I thought he caught it in the air.
So the inning is over. Red Sox jump on top with a 3 spot here in the third. Just a lazy day. A lot of empty seats
it's
scattered
packed
throughout.
I bet it's packed.
Maybe some folks scared away by the clouds.
It's a nice day, really.
I know.
You know, it really is a nice day here.
69 degrees at game time. Light breeze blowing out towards center, but the Indians have yet to get a base runner in this game, let alone a hit.
Well, their first time through the lineup, 0 for 9 with 4 strikeouts for Joe Kelly. He's been on the mark today. Good fastball, breaking ball, and also changeup.
And now armed with a 3-run lead.
Well, now's the time to break up the no-hitter and get a few runs as well.
A little bit outside. 2-1.
That's what you need, that first base runner, get him out of the stretch.
Routine bouncer to third base. Travis Shaw throws out Davis, 1 down.
Well, a week from today, next Saturday, May 28th, it'll be Corey Kluber Jersey Day. The Tribal host Buck Showalter's Baltimore Orioles, they will be in town, and 12,500 fans will get the jersey, courtesy of Discount Drug Mart. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Jason Kipnis quickly in the 0-2 hole. And a ground ball. Pedroia throws him out, 2 down. Nice play by the Red Sox second baseman.
You know, that's a play there when you go into the hole. You just do that slide to smother the ball, and you can pop up quickly to make a throw. Instead of staying on your feet, your momentum's going to carry you more to the line. So what it does, it helps you get down and get back up quickly to get rid of the baseball.
They're going to the bottom of the 9th in Chicago, where the Royals lead the White Sox 2-1. Jose Abreu was up with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 7th, hit into a double play for the White Sox only run.
Well, I think Davis will be on then.
Cameron Maben with a home run for Detroit. Tigers lead the Rays 1-0 there in the 4th inning. Joe Kelly fires, and a strike. Now the 3-1. Lindor fouls it back into the crowd for a full count. Lindor sends a high pop to center. Bradley backing up. And he'll make the catch. 12 up, 12 down through 4. And the Red Sox lead the Indians 3-0. Coverage of baseball. CC Sabathia got his 100th win as a Yankee last night. So only the third pitcher to get 100 wins for two different American League teams, Lefty Grove and Mike Mussina.
Yeah, I remember Mike being the most recent one. He was a good pitcher.
Well, the Red Sox sent 9 men to the plate in the third, so Blake Swihart will lead off again here in the fourth. And he grounds the first pitch to Carlos Santana, 1 away. Time for an in-game update. Here's Al Pulaski. Thanks, Al. Minnesota beat the Blue Jays today with a 5-run 8th inning. Eduardo Nunez with a 3-run homer. There's a long fly ball to deep left field, and that baby is gone.
First row.
Mookie Betts with his 8th home run of the year makes it 4-0 Boston.
Well, he got it started last inning with the leadoff double off the monster. He hit that ball harder than he hit the home run. He got out in front of this home run off the end of the bat. It went high, and it goes right into the first row up above the monster. You can see, and it comes back onto the field of play, but it's still a homer. He's frustrated in this ballpark. He does not have a strikeout today. He has walked 2, and he has given up 7 hits. This has not been a good place for Trevor to pitch.
Nor has the American League East in general.
That's true.
In 55 career innings of work against the AL East, Bauer has given up 46 earned runs. That's foul, third base side, and they count 1-2 on Dustin Pedroia. Jimenez pounces on it and throws him out. 2 down. Up comes Xander Bogaerts.
Bogaerts got him on the board with the RBI single his last at bat.
Right down Broadway.
Well, back-to-back curveballs is what happened. Missed with his first one, came back with his next one. There's Crockett.
Bounced that one well in front of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. And a fly ball to right. Should end the inning. Chisenhall is in. And he makes the grab. Mookie Betts blasts one over the green monster in left. And it's now Boston 4, Cleveland nothing. brought to you by Levin Furniture. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. Well, Boston on top 4-0. That's enough of a problem for the Indians, but of more immediate concern is the Joe Kelly on the mound has not given up a base runner through 4 innings. And Mike Napoli leads off here in the 5th. Out on strikes his first time up. A little bit outside. And count 1-1. Oh, this. We talked about it a little bit last night. You know, the Red Sox, their pitching, especially their starting pitching, definitely some question marks. So a healthy Joe Kelly, and the way he's pitching right now, should help ease some of those concerns.
Well, yeah, you remember he ripped off 8 in a row last year. He had a string of, although he did begin last season on the disabled list.
Strike 3 called, and that's number 5 for Kelly. One down here in the 5th.
Well, watch him locate the fastball, mix in his breaking ball, and he rides it. And he's got a change. That's a little cutter down and in. He got the swing and miss, and there's a nice fastball away. A couple of times he's got Napoli to look at.
Pitch, I think he threw the same
pitch.
Yeah,
I think the second one was down a little bit more at the bottom part of the strike zone.
Now Carlos Santana grounded out his only time up.
You know, the amazing thing, guys, in watching Joe Kelly is where he's at on the rubber. His right foot is only just his toes. So when he throws that fastball inside the righties, it's almost like it cuts all the way across the plate to him.
Well, he slides off to that first base side of the rubber. That pitch there you're talking about. Yeah, creating an angle. Watch where he starts. He'll start there, but that toe comes down into his toe hold. He's all the way over to the first base side. Creating a different angle. There's a breaking ball there. He has the curve ball. He throws the harder a little bit, or the slider a little bit harder. And his velocity on the fastball is 94, 95.
And he's touched 97. The 3-1 pitch. And the Indians have their first base runner of the afternoon. No surprise that it's Carlos Santana who earns the walk. And that's one out here in the 5th inning. And Marlon Byrd, who struck out his first time up, will be the batter. Like everything to Bird was up.
Yes.
Like above the belt.
He's been able to do that a couple of times. Start hitters off with a breaking ball, strike one, and then go to work and start carving them with the fastball. Let's see how he handles missing the first pitch on an off-speed pitch, what he comes back with. Good heater down and away. He's locating the fastball very well. I remember when he came over here from the Cardinals, he came into this league and threw a lot of fastballs, more so than a lot of other pitchers, but he's incorporated his off-speed pitches into the game plan.
And the 1-1 inside. He missed 2 balls and a strike. All of a sudden he's kind of maybe gotten away from the fastball and he's behind in the count here, 3-1.
Well, Bird's going to see one here, so take your location and give it a shot. Stay on it, make sure it's down below the belt. Uribe on deck. Fouled it off. See, when a guy's pitching like he is right now and you get into hitters counts like that and you're looking for a pitch and you get it, you want to put it in play and hit it hard somewhere. That he just fouled it off.
And the payoff pitch from Kelly. Runner goes. And it's ball 4.
Good at bat.
So back-to-back walks with one out here in the 5th inning. And now you get a big fly, and all of a sudden it's a different ball game.
One swing here gets you right back into the game. That's the one thing about this ballpark. Kelly, you know, he fell behind Bird and ended up walking him. That's the last thing you want to do if you're him, the way he's been throwing the baseball today. He's been very good.
Juan Uribe out on strikes his first time up. And it's low and away, ball 1. Another off-speed
Well,
pitch.
you're finding him out of the stretch. You know, that control is not what it was coming out of the full windup. And it was his walk that got him in. Pedroia's coming in just to give him a little pat on the back and confidence, say, let's go. Let him hit the ball. Let your defense work. Your ground ball away from getting out of the inning.
Well, especially when you got a Juan Uribe at the plate who wants to swing the bat. You don't have to be perfect with your location. But that was a perfect pitch.
Well, that time he seemed like he was a little slower with that delivery coming home out of the stretch. Sometimes you go from that full windup, you finally get into the stretch, and it takes you a few pitches to get a feel.
Now the 1-1. Low and away. He went to the fastball, but really pulled it across his body. He's made 69 pitches, 57% of those, almost 60 for strikes. And Uribe fouling it right back into the crowd. So it's 2-2 with a meeting at the mound between Ryan Hanigan and Joe Kelly, and the shortstop Xander Bogaerts now in for moral support.
Need a base hit here. Get on the board. Just stop a little bit of that momentum right now. Don't know if they were talking about signs or what with the runner on second base. He looked over at Pedroia, so they might have been.
Mike Sarbaugh coaching at third with Carlos Santana, the runner, at second base. Marlon Byrd at first, and the 2-2 to Uribe, and a swing and a miss. That's a half dozen strikeouts for Joe Kelly. 2 down in the inning.
Going to see him elevate the fastball. Good location. That one they wanted it up, but that one had some movement going in, and Uribe helps him out. Swings at a ball out of the zone, but it's out number 2. And now Joe Kelly has an opportunity to get out of this inning.
Yeah, Lonnie Chisenhall struck out his first time up, chased one in the dirt.
Yeah, that's the pitch he was chasing right there, that breaking ball down. Swung at 2 of those in his last at bat that were out of the zone.
Fouls that back. 1 ball, 1 strike. That fastball again today has been mid to upper 90s at times. The only 2 base runners the Indians have had here in the 5th on back-to-back walks to Santana and Byrd. Can't even think of a truly a hard hit ball in the game.
No, he's been in command all day.
They throw it into center field, and Santana will get up and go to third. Well, that was really silly. I don't understand that play sometimes.
Well, they're trying to get that final out. Maybe that's what they were talking about too at the mound. Hey, if you think he's going to fall asleep, we'll give you a little sign, but he throws one into center field. Santana wasn't off that far, and you don't really have to throw that ball, but it was tough for Bogaerts to try and get it because it was towards Santana.
I don't know if Carlos is hurt down there or just needs a little equipment maintenance.
So
I think that ball the ball either hit him in the hand or he got stepped on. Maybe both. In the meantime, a 2-1 count for Lonnie Chisenhall. Marlon Byrd, I think, ordinarily would have gotten to second base, but it took so long for Santana to get up and then take off that he really never had a chance to go to second.
That's true. You got to read the guy in front of you. You're down, then you got to make sure you get there, so no big deal.
And that fastball way outside, and he has walked the bases loaded. We're here in the 5th inning without giving up a hit yet in the ball game, and that's going to bring out Carl Willis now, the Red Sox pitching coach. Just a bizarre sort of series of events here. Guy's got a perfect game with 1 out into the 5th, and he walks a couple, gets another strikeout, and now,
well, the throw, you should have been concentrating on the hitter, I think, in that situation more so than picking off a guy, but they wanted to try and get an easy out. It doesn't happen. Santana looked like he might have jammed his hand there, but he went into third base, and then he comes back and 2 more balls to Chisenhall. This is where, boy, you'd love to take advantage of it if you're the Indians. Some way, somehow, base knock, get a couple on the board, cut that lead in half at least. Still has not allowed a hit.
And Chris Jimenez will be the batter with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the inning. And it's low and away, ball 1.
The first little hiccup for Joe Kelly today, coming in the 5th.
Now can Jimenez make him pay for the walks? Down on the dirt, Hannigan with a nice stop.
Yeah, he's right now his own worst enemy. He's having a tough time. Fastball, breakable, and again comes Bogarts.
Well, remember earlier
That's
this
twice.
week, the Indians had a situation that nobody's seen in a long, long time when they walked with the bases loaded 4
Cincinnati,
times.
yes, that is correct.
And I saw where last night it happened to Cincinnati again. A bases loaded walk, then a hit batter with the bases loaded as their bullpen imploded late again.
Well, this is just all gifts right here. And boy.
2-0. Popped up foul, back out of play.
See, right now, Jim is asking if that ball was a strike. It might have been on the upper part. I don't know if it was high, too high or what, but he fouled it off. But 2-0 count, you figure you're going to get a fastball. Should be in a pretty decent spot to swing at.
And a foul back evens the count at 2-2. And again, that fastball registering at 97 miles an hour.
There it is. It's one to hit. He challenged him. He said, here it is, and he fouled it off. Now the crowd getting loud. They want to see Kelly get out of this, leave him stranded.
With 2 down, the bases loaded. And the 2-2 pitch. A little tapper back to the mound. Backhanded by Kelly. He comes home. And the call is out at the plate. Hannigan's foot came off the plate. He had to reach back for it. And he made the call according to the home plate umpire, Jim Joyce. But we may get a challenge.
His foot got the plate. He missed it originally and then came back with it, and it beat Santana getting in.
That's pretty heads-up play by Ryan Hannigan.
Why did Kelly go home with it?
Who knows? But the inning's over, and the Indians leave them loaded. No hits through 5 for Cleveland as the Red Sox lead it 4-0.
You can grab some friends, catch the game from the corner out in right field or the new drink rails out in left. District tickets only available at Indians.com.
David Ortiz leading off here in the bottom of the 5th for Boston. He is already 2 for 2 with a double and a single. Indians have action in the bullpen as Trevor Bauer sits at 80 pitches on the afternoon. And it's 1-1.
That was a changeup from Trevor right there. Then went inside with a heater in off the plate.
And a weak tapper to Francisco Lindor. 1 away. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Boston with a big 3rd inning. 5 consecutive hits, all coming with 1 out. Bogarts drove in 1. Hanley Ramirez blooped 1 in and drove in 2 more. And then Mookie Betts with a solo home run just over the green monster for a solo shot. And it's all the scoring so far. Joe Kelly with 5 no-hit innings against the Tribe.
That home run by Mookie Betts was the 21st consecutive game that the Red Sox have homered in, which is a franchise record.
In the Central Division, Minnesota beat Toronto today 5-2 the final. Kansas City beat Chicago 2-1 a final from U.S. Cellular Field. The Red Sox chief rival, their nemesis in the AL East, the New York Yankees, they're out in Oakland. They lead the A's 4-0 in the 5th, but the story before the game was that the toilet in the Yankees dugout
in Oakland,
it backed up and flooded
no,
the dugout.
Not in Oakland.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's an annual procedure there.
Doesn't it seem like it's
It
always
is.
something?
They had the backups there. Was it last year?
Bouncer to short. And Hanley Ramirez is retired. Was it last year or was
It was last year or the year before. It wasn't that much longer ago.
It was in 2013.
Okay.
That was ugly. That was raw sewage that spilled into
Right.
the A's dugout. And then their locker room got flooded.
They desperately need
They do.
a new ballpark. There's no question. It's one of the things Major League Baseball has to help them get done.
I think a lot of people are watching closely as Travis Shaw steps to the plate. What's going to happen with the Oakland Raiders? A lot of reports say they're going to move maybe to Vegas.
Well,
so if they leave town, would that maybe help?
they already
Oakland
left town once, and they let them back. Now they're leaving again, or would like to. I mean, it's hard to believe that the A's have to play in the confines that they play under, and it's almost like they're tenants to the Davis family. You know, with the way that thing is structured, one of the only teams that, with all their luxury suites, they need a new ballpark, and so does Tampa.
Shaw cuts and misses. It's 2-2. Sounds like the Rangers are going to get a new ballpark with a retractable roof in Arlington.
And theirs was built the same year that Progressive Field or Jacobs Field opened up back in '94.
It'll be the first ballpark torn down because it's just too hot. Marlon Byrd in left will make the catch. And Trevor Bauer with a 1-2-3 5th inning. It remains 4-0 Boston. 4-0 Boston on top here as we roll to the 6th inning at Fenway Park on a cloudy, overcast day. This summer, Bike to Cure in Velasano takes place July 29th through the 31st. Every dollar raised advances cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. Get involved at velasano.org. Top of the order for Cleveland here, inning number 6. It will be Rajai Davis, Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor. Davis 0 for 2, is grounded out twice.
Well, Kelly had a little bout with control issues in his last inning, walking the bases loaded, but was able to get out of it. Boy, almost threw that ball away at home plate. Why he went there, I don't know. Maybe he thought it was an easier throw. But Hannigan did a nice job just to get his foot on the plate before Santana could get there.
Kelly was perfect through the first 4 1/3 before the walks 2 consecutively to Santana and Bird, and then after he struck out Uribe, a walk to Chisenhall loading the bases, but he gets out of it. And now the 2-1 to Davis. Swing and a miss. This fastball at times, Rick, has just overpowered Indians hitters.
Yeah, he's been throwing it by him upstairs on the upper part of the quadrant for strikes, and maybe elevated it at times to get above the strike zone.
And that came back over the plate, but Davis pops it straight up. 1 down.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Anderson. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
You know, Larry Anderson made his major league debut in '75, same year as you.
Oh, yeah?
But
Okay.
from Philadelphia now?
Yes. Well, he's signed about the same year we did. Eckersley made his debut in '75.
You know who else made their major league debut in 1975? Jerry Remy.
Yeah.
But not here
with
in
the
Boston.
Angels.
Was with
yeah,
the California
he was with
Angels.
the yes, California Angels before coming to Boston. So you're saying there's a lot of old guys in the house today. Jim Rice, Jerry Remy, Andre Knott.
The 1975 crew. The flip, and it's right on the money to Kelly.
Well, Kelly's a good athlete. He can get down the line, and he got over there in a hurry. And he's just a very good athlete. They put Kip away on the 3-1. You know, Ramirez has done a pretty nice job over there at first base. He has not made an error yet, and people were really questioning what's going to happen over there if they put him over there. They tried him in left field last year, and he had issues. But he's handled himself very well over there for the first quarter of the season.
I think the issues people had with him last year were understandable because he looked like he didn't care when he was in left field.
Yeah, remember when we came here and
like
he didn't work or take any fly balls off the monster or anything like that.
But maybe it's because he'd never been out there before. Now he's back on the infield where he's just more comfortable.
Well, you're involved a lot more when you're on that dirt as compared to being out in the grass.
Francisco Lindor is 0 for 2. He is grounded out. He is flied to center. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Hit 98 miles an hour, and it looked like it was a pretty good pitch, and everybody here at Fenway thought it would be strike 3.
That's off the plate. That's a good pitch, but you see he's taking that walk off the mound, but it was outside.
And he shoots it between the wickets of Travis Shaw. That'll most certainly be scored an error.
No question.
And it'll keep the inning alive with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, he had it down, and it was right at him. Goes right between his legs. And it comes up empty, so the inning continues. Still is not allowed a hit. But I'll tell you what a shot in the arm Joe Kelly is for this Red Sox team if he can come back and stay healthy. Spent the last month on the disabled list, the shoulder impingement, and he's pitched very well, and John Farrell will welcome him back.
Well, the Indians need a shot in the arm right now. Maybe Mike Napoli can deliver it. He has.
That was
Lindor
close.
Very close to getting picked off at first base.
Kelly is a good athlete. He has quick feet. He'd be careful there. You're not going anywhere. You don't need to get off. And that was really close. Really close. Well, he's handled Napoli the first 2 at-bats, called strikes for the 3rd call, both times up.
Mike 0 for 7 in the series thus far. And a foul right back. Kelly keeping a close eye on Lindor.
Well, they're saying, hold on a second. They want to look at it. Boston does to see if they may have had him. You know, if you're Lindor, shorten it up a half a step. He's trying to get out of this inning now with Kelly. John Farrell is they want to take a peek to see. And, you know, here you go. You wait for video.
This is the flaw in the system.
Yeah, no question. You know what? You either take a look at it or stay in the dugout.
I mean, when we talk about pace of action, that is completely grinding the machine to a halt. And now the 0-1. Two quick strikes on Napoli. Well, quick, relatively speaking. 2 pitches, 2 strikes. It's just taken a while to get the 2 pitches here. Number 7 for Joe Kelly. And the Indians still hitless through 6. to work the bottom of the 6th inning, bottom third of the Red Sox order here. Bradley pops it up. Maybe a play for Jimenez. No, just onto the top of the screen. And that sails high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bauer inching closer to the 100 pitch mark. Action in the bullpen once again for the Tribe. Bradley fouled off of his foot to even the count of 2-2.
That couldn't have felt very good. We heard the thud all the way up here.
Jackie Bradley walked with 2 outs and a base open his first time up back in inning number 2. Intentionally, they put him on, and then that got the crowd angry and upset because he comes in with a 25-game hitting streak. Then when he was up in the 3rd, it was not an intentional walk, but you could see Bauer working around him, and
it was in Bauer's mind.
Yeah, he walked him to
to
load the bases.
That was an at-bat.
He got out of it.
Yeah, if he lets up any more runs, he's out of the ball game. And here he is now in the 6th, still pitching. And with the way the Indians' offense is today, there it is.
Kipnis with a diving stop, gets up and throws, and Santana can't keep his foot on the base.
Well, you know how they're going to score that, don't you?
It'll be a hit, no doubt about it.
Exactly. And
Kipnis with a terrific diving stop.
He can't believe it. And Santana, for whatever reason, I want to see if he kept his foot on the base. They may appeal that. I don't know. But the umpire, Marvin Hudson, says no, Santana's off the base. And he did come up a little bit. So maybe coming down, it looked like he did go off the base.
He did.
Yeah.
26-game hitting streak for Jackie Bradley.
Yeah, not much you could do. It looked like he did come off the base.
Well, it looks like Terry is going to go ahead and challenge.
I guess, what do you have to lose here?
Yeah, after the 7th inning, it's all umpire challenges.
Exactly.
Anyway.
You know what? Just from our angle that we had from behind, looked like he did raise. We can't tell. The umpire was a lot closer than we were from behind the play. So they're going to take a look. I would be surprised if this thing is overturned. May have a rebellion if it is here at Fenway.
Well, you could see him come off the bag. And the question was going to be.
Yeah, there's no question.
Did they even look at it?
Yeah, they did. He was up. They did. Well,
is anybody on the other end of this thing? No, he's safe.
Yeah. He was up.
Clearly safe.
Yeah, no question. I mean,
or clearly off the bag, put it that way.
Yeah. And all the umpires in that dugout there too. So the hit streak will continue to 26 now for Bradley. It's a nice play and a nice try by Kipnis.
And Ryan Hannigan 0 for 2, the batter.
That hit him. Well, looks like Bauer may be done now. That ball running up and in on Hannigan, catching him on the hand possibly. Yeah, that ball took off, and it's, you know, it's very similar to what happened to Davis last night, except Davis, he did swing a little bit more.
Yeah, but I still think it was a bad call.
I agree. I do too. I don't think he went, but it was the same situation. That ball got him on the hand, and out comes Tito. He's going to make the call. He was going to try and get through this 6th inning with Bauer, but he will be done after 5 innings here, 5+.
Bauer's out. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for Jeff Manship with the Indians down 4-0. Comes to an end here in the 6th inning after giving up an infield hit and then a hit batter. It was a day where he made some good pitches and a couple of balls got blooped in on him.
Well, you know what? Back in that 3rd inning, he's frustrated. It's been one of those days. But when your team's getting no hit and you have no runs, there's not much you can do. You can't be, you know, he's just upset he came out of that inning at that time. Things didn't go his way today. And now he's leaving with two men on. Jeff Manship coming on for the 16th time, trying to get out of it. Just keep it a 4-run ball game. You still have 3 innings left. You just got to keep them off the board. Don't let them add on.
Blake Swihart might be bunting here. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He's not bunting. He takes a strike.
They want to see that 4-0 lead. They want it 7-0. They don't want to bunt. They're going for it. You got the top of the lineup up next.
Well, it was weird when Pedroia bunted last night in the first inning.
He did that on his own to get the lead. You know, there's a lot of times when you have a steady lineup like this one is with Betts and Pedroia and Bogarts and Ortiz. Hitters will do things on their own just for other players that follow, you know, to get the job done. They know.
You know, Terry Francona said last night when
Chisenhall,
Kipnis came up with 2 on and nobody out in the 3rd, he said he thought Kipnis was thinking about maybe bunting in that situation. Turns out he didn't. Hit a 3-run homer.
Thank goodness he didn't.
Yeah.
That's when I was talking about in the 6th inning last night when they had the lead by 2 runs. He had the lead off double. Chisenhall bunted him at 3rd base. I was thinking, that's no, don't. Not in this ballpark.
And Swihart lays off 2-2. And a foul right back. Count stays 2-2. Foul ball. Got him to chase one in the dirt finally.
Thought he got a piece of it.
Well, I guess he did.
I mean, just a very little piece of it. You could hear it just right at the end of the bat to stay alive. Went straight down into the dirt. Nothing that Jimenez could do about it.
Full count. Very close. A little bit low. Runners go. And a ground ball foul.
Yeah, there you go. Starting the runners. That's how you feel about it. That this guy's going to put the ball in play. So they started Bradley at 2nd base, Hannigan at 1st. They were off and running 3-2. This would be a perfect time to get a strikeout, strike him out, throw him out, because there's a left-hander at the dish. Easy throw for Jimenez, but obviously John Farrell thinks this kid's going to put it in play.
And Swihart, this will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. The run again, and he pops it up. I don't know, maybe a play here. And Lindor makes the catch in fair ground. Boy, that's a tough play. You actually overran the ball.
Look at him. His heart skipped a beat. You're right. He overran it. But they can't call an infield fly roll because no infielder was underneath it. It was a tough play, but Frankie makes a beautiful catch. I mean, that is a tough one. That would have been a fair ball. That would have dropped down fair. And that's a tough play as a base runner. You know, they were often running on the play, but you go back, but it drops, you know, maybe 40, 50, 60 feet behind third base. And I don't know if he can restart to get it. So Lindor gets a nice catch for out number 1.
And now Mookie Betts. He was 2 for 3 with a double and a home run. High pop, straight up on the infield. Santana.
That's an infield fly.
He holds on to it, 2 away. I realize that here at Fenway Park, they still have the old manually operated scoreboard. They change the scores by hand out in the left field green monster. But as I look out there, Rick, you realize right now, Minnesota has outscored the entire Central Division by themselves with 5 runs today.
Okay.
Tigers have been held to 1 run. Royals beat the White Sox 2-1, and the Indians have been shut out so far here today.
Well, let's hope it doesn't stay that way, especially here. If Manship can get out of here, keep it a 4-0 ball game. Still in business. We're not talking about runs. We need hits.
If you can score a run without a hit, I'll take it, but they need some of both. And that's way outside. 2-0. Manship, 2-0 pitch, a little bit high, 3-0. And you got Xander Bogaerts on deck.
Doesn't get any easier. And you just have to assume that he could be swinging on this pitch, so you don't want to just throw him a cookie here.
Well, he didn't throw it anywhere near the plate. The bases are loaded. Can't catch the games on TV. You can stream them on your mobile device. Download the all-new Fox Sports Go app and take the Indians and Sports Time Ohio with you wherever you go. Rick, the Red Sox have a lineup that has a nice balance of youth and experience. With guys like Ortiz, Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, how much is their influence impact the hitters compared to the veteran hitting coach at Chili Davis and his tutelage?
I think it helps the whole lineup. When you have veteran hitters in the lineup, they can teach you, but their young hitters are very, very good. Betts and Bogarts and Shaw. I mean, and Bradley. They have some great young players. So not only do those young players thrive off the old guys, but the old guys, you know, they love those young guys because they're full of energy. You know, it makes their job, I think, a lot easier.
Bogarts takes.
You look at the one inning back in the third inning, and it was all right. They had the first out of the inning. Swihart made an out. Then you get a double from Betts. Then Pedroia gets a base hit. Bogarts gets a base hit. Ortiz, and then Ramirez. And it just, you know, it's very contagious. They say hitting's contagious. Well, in a lineup like this, once they get rolling, it's tough to stop them.
Especially the confidence that they've already picked up so far this year. Nice pitch by Manship to change up.
I mean, look, they have 4 runs on the board. It could have been a lot worse. And last night, that's why when Kluber went out there, he stayed away from the big inning. You know, they gave him 1 early, gave him 1 in the first, 1 in the second. That was it. After the Indians scored a big crooked number. But you know, right now, imperative, keep it a 0 on the board. If they get a base hit here, that may do it. That may be the knockout punch. I see Crockett in the bullpen, and you've got Ortiz on deck, so need an out here.
A 1-2 pitch.
Got it.
In the air, right field, shallow. Lonnie coming on, he makes the catch to end the inning. Red Sox leave him loaded for the second time today, but the Indians still trail it 4-0. Baseball is brought to you by the Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough. It's a 4-0 ball game as we head to the 7th inning. The Indians without a hit. Carlos Santana, the first man to reach for Cleveland on a walk in the 5th inning after Joe Kelly started the game, retiring the first 13 in order. Three walks and 1 error by the Red Sox have accounted for the 4 base runners the Indians have had today. Joe Kelly, no chance to finish this game regardless of the outcome. And Santana grounds out 1 down as he's close to 100 pitches. Boston has the bullpen busy, and this is his first start since being activated from the DL.
I figure that's right where he would be, 85, 90 pitches in that first start coming back. Although we told you he did make a few starts down there, but I think right now if Johnny could get him through 7, it'd be fine. You'd go to the bullpen, but it's up and getting loose right now. And I think if he gives up his first hit, he'll probably take him out. But he only wavered in that 5th inning, and that was all control issues. And that's after the first guy got aboard. He walked Santana, and then out of the stretch, he just had a tough time throwing strikes that inning.
Think about it, Rick. 1 ball was put in play that entire inning.
I know. And he had to work awfully hard, and it was the one that he almost messed up.
Yeah, and it was hit right back to him.
Yes.
And then inadvertently, he threw home instead of just taking the sure out at first base, and Hannigan had his feet got tied up trying to catch the ball and keep it on the plate.
He wasn't expecting it.
He said, "What are you doing throwing it to me?"
You know, normally you think, okay, there's 2 outs, you go to first base with everything. So he was probably shocked.
And now 1-1 count for Marlon Byrd, who drew a walk in that 5th inning as well. Good eye at the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Down in the dirt. Here we go again, 3-1.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him out of this game if he walks him or gives up a hit. I really would. His first start coming back, and I know, you know, he's not going to finish it, so he's not going to have a chance for a no-hitter, but he hasn't been in any trouble whatsoever.
Now the 3-1 offering. And Byrd drives one into center field, and what a catch made by Jackie Bradley.
Yeah, he picked it up right off the ground, got a pretty good jump with it. That ball was the best hit ball of the afternoon for the Indians. And he continued to come in and makes that shoestring grab and goes down on his stomach. So that's a big play.
He attacked this baseball.
Yeah, you watch. He gets it, it's coming in, and you can see he starts running in and picks it up right off the ground. And a good play for out number 2.
And now Juan Uribe, who has struck out twice tonight. And probably the last batter Joe Kelly faces. And Uribe drives one to right center field, and it will get down. And it's the first hit of the ball game with 2 outs in the 7th inning as Uribe rolls into second base with a double.
Well, he plugged the gap. And here comes John Farrell, no doubt. He threw him the fastball, and that one, it was down a little bit more than normal. It was out over the plate. Uribe stayed on it, found the gap. And what a great afternoon for Joe Kelly in his first start in over a month. To come back here and throw 6 2/3 of 1-hit baseball, and that hit coming on his last hitter.
And a nice ovation for the Red Sox right-hander. 1 hit allowed in 6 2/3 innings of work. And John Farrell makes the call to the bullpen. Lonnie Chesnall will bat with a runner at second and 2 down when we come back. Indians here today. We'll see if the Indians can maybe break through against the Boston bullpen. Junichi Tazawa has not allowed a run in his first 11 games at Fenway, though, this year. And he comes on to face Lonnie Chisenhall with a runner at second and 2 down in this 7th inning. Up high, ball 1. Strike to the outside corner.
Good pitch. Looks like it might be like a little splitter or something that he throws. That might be his off-speed pitch that has movement going down on the way to the left-handers.
Doesn't it seem like every Japanese pitcher we have seen throws a splitter?
Yeah.
Or some variation of it, fork ball, whatever you want to call it. But
you name it, they'll throw it, no question.
runner at second, 2 down in the 7th, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Dirt. Tazawa with the 2-2 pitch and strikes him out. Stretch time at Fenway. 7 strikeouts for Joe Kelly as he has helped to shut out the Indians this afternoon. Come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th against left-hander Kyle Crockett. Here's the new Indians pitcher. Now, whether or not Crockett is on only to face Ortiz or because you got two left-handed hitters after Ramirez who follows Ortiz, he might stand for the whole inning. Might all depend on what happens right here in this particular at-bat. Jabba Chamberlain is up in the Cleveland pen. Ortiz going after the first pitch, pulls it foul. Couple of hits on the day for David Ortiz after he went 0 for 3 last night. And Santana smothers it. One down. And the fact that he got him out, he'll stay in here to face the rest of this lineup here in the 7th inning. Well, when you're getting shut out and no hit, you got to search for something for our Miller time. And Steve Bardo dug up the nice couple of plays made by Francisco Lindor in this series. And Andre has more to add.
Well, Lindor said last night on those type of plays, he talks to the outfielders every game. He says, this is your land out here in the green. But I'm going to run out here until I hear one of you guys call me off. And I know even on the play today, I heard Uribe running and he yelled at Uribe, get away, and start smiling at him. It's amazing that he can run that fast and still keep his head where the ball is at on those type of plays. But he says he talks to the outfielders every night. This is where I'm going to run to. Just tell me to get away if I need to.
And that's his job. He goes out until he hears an outfielder call him off. And if he doesn't hear him, then he's going to go after it and catch it. And when you have rotating outfielders, you know, in left field or in center field, when he's doing that, that's why he has to communicate with him on a daily basis.
Missed outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Got him with a changeup, but Jimenez can't throw him out.
Well, that was almost like a perfect bunt for Ramirez. They're playing him deep. And Crockett, you know, was going to get there. It was about just, they both get there at the same time. So you're better off having the catcher try and get it and throw it. And he goes out there and Ramirez just beats it out. It's just perfectly placed. Crockett gets out of the way. You can see it's a nice pick on the back end of this. But he beats it out. Infield single, hit number 9 for Boston.
Now you get the left-handed hitting Travis Shaw with Jackie Bradley to follow. Shaw is 0 for 3. He has flied out to all 3 outfielders today. And now he shoots one down the left field line. That's trouble. Up against the sidewall. Ramirez on his way to third. Shaw into second with a double. Well, you might look at this and say, well, that's a good piece of hitting, but it's also right down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, well, he sliced it that way, and Shaw was trying to stay on the left-hander. That's why he let it track deep into the zone, and he just fought it off and flares it the other way. But it stayed fair, got down into the corner. It goes as a double for Shaw. That'll be his 14th double. Now you're going to have Crockett on for his last hitter here. The left-hander Bradley, they're going to walk him again.
Well, he already got his hit. I don't know why they're booing.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, and then Tito's going to go to the mound and he's going to bring in Chamberlain, and again it's going to be Hannigan. That's what's going to be interesting when this kid, you know, the hitting streak continues. He's down in that 7th spot. whoever's going to hit behind him is going to get opportunities to hit in situations. But this is the way to do it. You got to put them on, play for the double play.
So Bradley walks to load the bases. And Terry Francona will make his move. Once he's waiting for the pinch hitter to be announced. And they have announced officially Christian Vasquez will bat for Hannigan. So timeout, bases loaded, one down in the 7th, and we'll be right back. First pitch of 1:30 here on the home of the Indians, Sports Time Ohio. It'll be Danny Salazar against Rick Porcello. Indians live starts our coverage at 1 o'clock. Jabba Chamberlain came on to a chorus of thunderous boos here at Fenway Park. It goes back obviously to his days.
Oh, absolutely.
With the what did they call him? The Evil Empire. Larry Lucchino referred to the Yankees when the ownership group changed hands here in Boston. So Chamberlain comes into a tough spot, though. Bases loaded, one out, and Christian Vasquez pinch hitting for Ryan Hannigan.
Well, and again, the Red Sox just trying to put this one out of reach. They have the bases loaded. They only have one out. They had an opportunity to do this last inning. They couldn't get it done. They have another opportunity this inning. Crockett went a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits. He had the one walk that was intentional. And then it's on to Chamberlain.
And that's outside, ball 1. Pop back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vasquez last night was 0 for 3, hit into a double play. Now the 1-1. Came to shade up and in.
Yeah, we got a fastball got away from him. Goes up and in. I'm sure we'll see a slider down and away right here. Looking for a ground ball.
And the 2-1 delivery. I would imagine over the years, Jabba Chamberlain has heard just about every imaginable and creative curse word.
Well, that rivalry, I'm sure these Red Sox players hear it when they go to New York too, as well.
I think there's more of a venom and hatred here toward the Yankees than there is the other way around, though.
It's like that a lot of places for the Yankees.
Another foul back. I was just trying to think, Rick, you know, we've had players that played in Boston and then went to New York, most famously
Johnny Damon.
In recent years, you think of Johnny Damon, you think of Jacoby Ellsbury. You know, Roger Clemens, obviously, is probably the most famous. But I'm trying to think of guys that have gone the other way, guys who were prominent Yankees and then came to the Red Sox afterwards.
Think of that. I don't know if they're allowed.
The 2-2 and a foul right back. Because normally all is forgiven once you put on that uniform, you know. We'll let bygones be bygones now that you're one of ours. But it just doesn't seem like a lot of guys have gone the other direction.
You got me thinking now.
I'm sure there's probably somebody really obvious that's just not coming to mind. Two balls, two strikes, bases loaded, one out. Jabba Chamberlain deals. And Vasquez lays off a full count. All the scoring in this game essentially came in the third inning. And the Red Sox used 5 consecutive hits off Trevor Bauer to score 3 times. Then they got a solo shot on the 4th. That's been it. The Red Sox have left the bases loaded twice, and now they've got them loaded again here in the 7th inning. They not hit the Indians 10-1. Java's payoff pitch. Ripped to third. Uribe will come home. They'll get the out there, 2 down.
Well, that's a double play ball, man. Why'd he come home? That's a ball you got to go to second to first and get out of the inning. Didn't give yourself a chance for a double play. I mean, that ball was hit right on the nose. It's not that it had anything. Watch. The catcher's not even out of the batter's box.
Kipnis is there. He's at second waiting for the throw.
Boy, you got to go to second to first on that one. That's out of the inning. He made a pitch to get this team out of the inning. Now he's going to have to do it one more time.
You know, Juan had a similar hiccup with a mistake in that same vein earlier this year. And Blake Swihart takes a strike with the bases loaded and 2 down. Especially when you've got the catcher running. That's
well, it's automatic. That ball's hit right on the nose. Double play ball. No second thoughts. Really taking a lot of time here.
and a foul back by Swihart. John Farrell looking on. It's been a weird game here at Fenway. Hasn't really been a whole lot of action in this one, save that one little spurt there that Boston had offensively. The Indians have been just completely shut down by Joe Kelly. Outside, 2-2. And Boston by rights probably should have a lead of maybe 8-0.
Well, the opportunity has been there for him. It sure has. This has given them like an extra out in the inning, even though there was no error or anything on the play. But they should be out of this inning.
The 2-2, and that's low and away, another full count.
He's going to have to come back and make a pitch here like he did to the last hitter.
And the Fenway faithful rise to their feet. Jabba comes set. Runners will go. The payoff pitch. And it's now 5-0.
Well, there you go. That's the difference. They end up getting a run here, and that run will be charged to Crockett.
Top of the order, and Mookie Betts. 2 hits, double, a homer, 2 runs scored. There's an old saying in baseball about the double plays you don't turn.
Yeah, I'll come back and haunt you. Right now, 15 pitches for Chamberlain, 7 strikes, 8 balls.
More action in the Cleveland bullpen. I think it's Dan Otero who was up earlier today. It's way outside 2-0. Dan getting loose. Unfortunately, Boston could be getting loose here real quick. Unless Jabba can find a way to get out of this mess. The 2-0 bullseye. That ball's hammered. Beat left. And gone. A grand slam from Mookie Betts. Lights out Cleveland.
Well, there you go. There's a 5-run inning that should never happen. And it was just a matter of time. They keep giving them opportunities and opportunities, and now they finally cashed in, and it's Betts with his 2nd home run of the game. He has 5 RBIs. He has 3 hits, and he put this one out of reach. Slider. He's going to stay back on it, and boy, that stayed middle of the plate, and Betts took advantage. And 3 of those runs are going to be to Crockett. The other 2 will go to Chamberlain.
Well, hopefully this is just one of those games that happen every so often. And you can just say, well, get it out of your system all at once, because there has really not been anything today that you could point to for the Indians and say, well, that at least went well. They have 1 hit offensively. Boston has put up 9 runs on the day. But as you pointed out, there's no reason to belabor the point. The inning should have been over.
Absolutely.
I mean, Java came on. He did what he's supposed to do. He got a ground ball with, a double play ball that you're looking for. And it
5-4-3 double play that it was automatic. It wasn't turned. He came home with the ball. Mistake made, and damage done after that. It's just plain and simple. It's a mistake on Uribe's part. You can't say anything else. Wasn't turned. You give him another opportunity, and they finally took advantage of it. This game could have been this way a lot earlier.
Yeah, it's 2-2 for Dustin Pedroia, who's the 8th man to bat in the inning. Red Sox sent 9 men to the plate in the 3rd. And a foul back. Dustin Pedroia was robbed of at least probably a double. Would not have been a home run, but in that first inning, he sent one slicing down the right field line, and Lonnie Chisenhall went up over against the wall and made a really nice play on a tricky part of this park. But then he singled and scored in the 3rd inning when the Red Sox took the lead. They walked back in the 6th. And now bats here in the 7th with 2 down and another full count for Jabba Chamberlain. Boys,
Every hitter, it seems like it's been a full count except for Betts.
3 out of the 4. Already 25 pitches made by Jabba. Indians came in having won 5 in a row to get to 22-17, and they closed the gap to a game and a half on Chicago. Now they won't lose any ground on the White Sox because they lost earlier today. Kansas City has now moved to within a game of Cleveland and 2.5 back overall in the division. Tigers look like they'll pick up a full game as well. They lead Tampa Bay late. And Pedroia ends up walking. Oh boy. The 9th man to bat in the inning will be Xander Bogaerts, but it won't be Jabba Chamberlain that faces him. Timeout for another pitching change. is Dan Otero. He'll come on to face Xander Bogaerts, who drove in a run back in the 3rd inning with a base hit. He's 1 out of 4 on the day. Dustin Pedroia at first base. And a chopper foul. Bogaerts shoots one back. It's 0-2. Slowly top. Going to be a tough play. Uribe won't have one. Pedroia stopping at second base. And the inning continues.
Well, nothing you can do there.
It's the second one of those we've had in the inning.
Yeah, at least Otero comes in throwing strikes. And he just tops that ball. Playing back, you're not going to get him. He goes down the line, a 2-out single. They have 4 hits in the inning. Mix in a couple of walks. They get 3 walks. And it's been a 5-run inning, and they still have 2 men on.
That's hammered, but look out, fans. Into the seats.
This is Chris Young getting a pinch hit appearance for Ortiz. Here's one. Now that we mention it, coming from the Yankees last year, he played it in New York. There you go. It just kicked in.
Yeah, but we're talking about like prominent players that switch in that rivalry. The 1-1, and there's a hard hit ball to third. Uribe has this one. Long throw across, and he got him. And that will end the inning, we think. John Farrell says, hold on, we might want to challenge. Really, John? It's 9-0 here.
No, it's nothing.
And there will be no challenge. The inning is over. Boston with a big inning here in the 7th. They score 5-4 on one swing of the bat. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Nothing Boston. And here in the 8th inning, Chris Jimenez will lead it off for the Indians. Benishi Tozawa got the final out of the 7th. He'll stay on to pitch here in the 8th. And Christian Vasquez taking over behind the dish after he pinch hit for Ryan Hannigan, and that worked out well for Boston, though it shouldn't have. It should have ended the inning, but it turned out to be a big mistake for the Tribe. Ground ball to the third baseman, Shaw. Or is it? No, it's not Shaw. Who is that? Shaw's at first base now. We got all kind of changes on the Boston infield. Shaw's at first base, and let's see, who's that? Who's over there at third? Josh Rutledge is now at third base. Michael Martinez pinch hitting for Rajay Davis. Rajay was 0 for 3 today. Michael Martinez is 3 out of 7 since joining the Tribe this year.
Come back here tomorrow at 1:30 for the rubber game in this match.
Yes, sir. Popped up on a play left side. Red Sox play all their Sunday home games at 1:35. Why, I'm not exactly sure. Called a strike over the outside corner. Down in the dirt. Foul back out of play. It's been all Boston here this afternoon at Fenway. Joe Kelly got the start, his first start since coming off the disabled list, and he was perfect into the 5th inning. He had a no-hitter with 2 outs into the 7th before Juan Uribe doubled to right center field, and that was it for Kelly. And that's been it for the Indians. Just 1 hit in the ballgame.
Martinez, he's putting up quite an at bat. He's not going down quietly.
Tazawa's throwing a lot of strikes. Just can't get one by him. Well, that time he did.
I must have heard you.
Second strikeout for the right-hander. 2 down in the 8th. Just a low heater right across the bottom of the zone.
Throwing that splitter down there a couple of times, and it's breaking out of the zone. So he laid off that one, and that was just the four-seam fastball. Curveball, 75 miles an hour, get me over for strike 1.
And Kipnis with a bouncer to second base. Hernandez with the underhand flip. Go to the last half of the 8th. 9-0 Boston. Running away with it here this afternoon. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, Josh Rutledge will lead it off. And Dan Otero misses inside for ball 1. And taking a strike. Jose Ramirez has come in at second base with Michael Martinez going into center field. Now the 1-1 pitch. And foul back. Well, it looked like Detroit was going to run away from Tampa. They were up 5-1, but the Rays stormed back with a 3 spot in the 8th to close it to 1 run. But Tampa Bay suffered a major blow in that game. Kevin Kiermaier on a diving attempt in the outfield suffered a pair of fractures in his left hand.
Oh boy.
Rutledge down on strikes, 1 away.
This is the Indians' only strikeout so far today, so we'll make that our Circle K strikeout.
Just in the nick of time.
Yes, indeed. Rutledge goes after it out of the zone. I was going to say they haven't had a strikeout yet, but there's number 1.
And Travis Shaw takes a called strike.
Danny Otero has come out here throwing strikes, huh? 9 of 11.
Yeah. That's hit a ton. And Michael Martinez is going to play it off the green monster. Played it well.
Yes, he did.
Like a guy who's been out there his whole career.
You know, that's the one thing about this ballpark. He did play it. You cannot play it any better. That's Shaw's second straight double. When you're in center field, that ball comes back to you. You just have to play the angle of it. And he knew it was going to be off the wall, so he stopped and positioned himself the way you have to. Look at him. Stop, and let me take the carom off the wall. Right on one hop, bare hand. You can't do it any better than that. And here's a guy that, you know, he hasn't played any games out in center field, but he made that one look easy. So that's where I say sometimes that ball can be your friend.
Jackie Bradley has walked 3 times today. And he has also singled to extend his hitting streak to 26 games, and now there are 2 down. We'll bring up Christian Vasquez.
This was the turning point, really, of the game. And, well, I should say of the 7th inning. Let me put it that way. When they had bases loaded and 1 out, Chamberlain came on, ended up getting Vasquez to a 3-2 count. He made a pitch, a ground ball to third base, and Juan Uribe came home with it instead of turning the double play, and it was certainly hit hard enough to turn the double play. Then they had to face another hitter, a walk, a grand slam, a walk, and you know, that was the big route right there. That just knocked KO'd the Indians. That 5-run 7th.
Up high with a heater, and he swung right through it.
And here's the play. Bases loaded, 1 out. I don't know why he didn't go to third to step on first. He just decided to come home. He could have went to second. Don't know. I'd have to ask Juan after the game.
Inside just by a smidge. Beats it into the ground. Uribe throws over, inning over. We'll go to the 9th, where Boston is about to even this series up at a game apiece. Lindor going to lead off here for the Indians in the 9th inning. And Heath Hembree on the pitch now for Boston. He has not allowed a run in 6 of his 9 appearances this year. And Lindor looks at ball 1 outside. Frankie today 0 for 3. Ground out and was flied out. Reached on an error his last time up. And that's going to put his modest 5-game hit streak on the line here in his last AB. But I tell you what, he's swung the bat very well. During his streak, he came in 13 out of 24. But overall here in the month of May, we talked about how hot Jason Kipnis was. He's hitting .382 in the month of May.
Very nice.
And a running grab in center field by Jackie Bradley takes a hit away from Lindor. And that's out number 1. Recapping our keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. Bauer was never really able to settle into this game today. The Red Sox just they dinked him around a little bit, and they were able to scratch out 4 runs.
And forget about the big innings. That didn't work out today.
There's been 1 hit for Cleveland.
It worked out for Boston, not the Indians.
Napoli takes a low strike. And Napoli rolls one foul off of his foot.
He's had a tough day and a tough series so far the first 2 days here in Boston. No sense beating yourself up, Mike.
Down on strikes is Napoli. 2 away. Carlos Santana, the batter, is 0 for 2. Santana twice has grounded out. He was the first Indians base runner with 1 out on the 5th when he drew a walk. And that was a strange inning in that the Indians didn't have a hit, but they loaded the bases all on walks. And then with 2 outs, Chris Jimenez hit a bouncer wide of the mound. The pitcher Kelly got off the mound, grabbed it, and instead of just throwing to first, he tried to fire it home. And Ryan Hannigan made a nice grab and was able to get his foot to the plate, just beating Santana to get out of the inning. Three 3-0 the count. It's amazing how many times Carlos Santana comes to the plate and they just can't or don't throw him strikes.
I agree.
It's like that first time he came up. I mean, Kelly's working on a perfect game. He's cruising along, and the next thing you know, all 4. Now a 3-ball 1-strike count as the fastball finds the zone. And they shift the shortstop Bogarts now over to the right side of the infield to make it a 3-man shift. And the 3-1 is hit high in the air to left field. Back is Swihart looking up. Goodbye. Carlos Santana spoils the shutout with a solo blast with 2 out in the 9th inning as he goes oppo for his 8th home run of the season. And that gives him now the team lead in home runs.
Well, remember, he wasn't going to walk him. He went with the, fell behind 3-0, and that's the price you pay sometimes. He knew he was going to get a fastball. He stayed on this fastball, took it the other way, and it's like a fly ball to left. But in this ballpark, it's a home run. That was just the second hit for the Indians today.
Count here on Marlon Byrd. Byrd hit a scorching liner to center field in the 7th inning that Jackie Bradley made a terrific catch on it at that time to keep the no-hitter intact, and wouldn't you know it, the very next man up ended that when Uribe stroked one to right center field. But at the time, that was a terrific play. And really, in this day and age, you don't see outfielders make great plays coming in on the ball. A lot of plays made great going back up against the wall, robbing. But coming in, that's a lost guard. That's a tough play for an outfielder.
Yeah, especially a low line drive like that one was, because you don't know if you're coming straight in, if you should dive for it or not.
Yeah. 2-2. Up and in, full count. Game continues on a 2-out walk to Marlon Byrd, his second free pass of the afternoon. Well, Heath Embry not endearing himself to anyone here today. He got 2 outs, didn't give up a home run, spoiled the shutout.
Well, these people are saying, come on, we want to go home, but we're not going to go to get the final out. And they expected it 2 hitters ago.
And Juan Uribe, who had the Indians' first hit, will get a chance to bat here now in the ninth. And a first pitch strike. I'd be willing to lay pretty good money against any odds you offer up that Uribe will not walk in this situation right here. He always loves to swing the bat. And given the way this game is going, if it's close, he's going to try to put it in play and get after it here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And the Fenway folks who are still here on their feet. That'll do it.
Yes, he did.
Uribe strikes out, and this game is over. And the Red Sox even the series at a game apiece with a convincing victory. And the final score today, Boston 9, Cleveland 1. Joe Kelly is going to get the win. He'll go to 2-0. The loss to Trevor Bauer, who falls to 3-2. The Indians' 5-game win streak comes to a halt as they are now 22-18. They'll stay a game and a half back of the White Sox.